Hey yo YouTube, I am here to continue talking about my D&D game, doing something a little different this video. Um, the last few sessions of the Band of Titans, my character Smite's been trying to raise an army to go invade the Savage Lands where the gnolls and trolls particularly are. And at first I was just gonna have my cohort hide, just go scout out the area with some bugbears. But then when it was time for him to leave, I told the DM it might be best if went with him, the barbarian, because his player hasn't been around lately. Uh, and the DM was like, "All right." Then I was like, since we're separating those two, maybe me and Earth's player could get together sometime on a weekday and do some side stuff ourselves. Uh, like I said, initially I wasn't planning on playing none of this out because hides a cohort. So we start this session out where we're inside one of the buildings of the manor, um, getting ready to go on this expedition. It's me, and I ended up asking the DM if we could bring in all the players that haven't been around and use their characters as NPCs. So we ended up having Gideon, Chevy, uh, and then alongside that, as a healer, we brought one of the priestess of Parisha, which is the goddess of pain, because they're one of the main cults that seem to be interested in this, making a council in this area. And Earth player starts asking about the stuff he was getting the alchemist to make last session he played, because he wants to try to make a werewolf not change back after he kills him, so he can like take his teeth or fur or something like that. uh, the end says really in gameplay not much time has passed and we haven't got to it. So like ends up saying to Hyde like he wants to go check something out, you want to come with them. So they both go down there to talk to the alchemist. His name is Tar Zai Samir. Uh, Pretty much he says that he thinks what he got could work, or he's got kind of a prototype, but they're really not going to know until they test it, and the only way to test it is to kill a werewolf or something like that, the werewolf or lycanthrope. Uh, and then we get into talk for a while on how we are able to actually administer it, because at first they're talking about just putting it on the blade of his battle axe, and the more they talk, after a while, I bring up or secondary weapon, which is a javelin. At first, I say polearm, but then the more we talk, we're like javelin, and he says a javelin will be perfect. We could definitely put something to inject the chemical or whatever it is into a werewolf. And Hyde ends up asking a few questions about the origin, the werewolf-like creatures that are always in wolf form that we captured when alive last time Earth's player played. He says they're from another world. Uh, he says that they behave almost exactly like werewolves, where they have the same cravings. I guess that means uh, a taste for human meat. Um, and like he says, he doesn't know how the virus gets spread, because the one we got wasn't where they were born with it. They were a human that eventually turned into one. So we head back to the group after that. Along with the ones that I said, we also have a goblin scout that's supposed to be from the area that we're going, named Grizzle. There's also a mage there that's supposed to be just there solely to teleport us there and back. Uh, Grizzle tells us that where we're going is going to be the Mongrel Man's land. There's supposed to be some kind of hybrid humanoid where they're a mixture of different races. And we're supposed to be southeast of the Orc Nation, on the borders in between the Troll Lands and the Knoll Plains. And it's going to be a bunch of hills and plains with goblinoids and lower orcs. And then again, it kind of gets into the mongrel men again, how they're a mixture of like goblins, orcs, and other humanoids, and they're supposed to be hideous. And we're teleporting exactly. It's supposed to be not too far away from a null camp. So the Neon sets a map up for us and lets old school DSP it and check it out. So the group ends up starting off in this area here. We're told that it's pretty much wooded and stuff like that. The goblin tells us that north to us will be the plains lands where the gnolls are. So Hyde ends up moving silently and does a hide check and ends up seeing this whole camp. Um, like I even asked the DM if those are really there, and he says yes. And throughout the camp, there's like these mutant-looking creatures. Like this one in particular, I thought was holding a baby. The DM says it has two heads, and apparently they're mongrel man slaves. Here's two of the other ones. These are creatures like I've seen in the Monsters Manual before, but have never faced or come across in a real game. To me, it's another one where I see why sometimes people get offended. Because yeah, uh, if you're a Mongolian or something, you hear mongrel men and see these creatures, I can see how you got offended. We end up deciding that we could either jump down there and start fighting, or we could try and funnel them through this area here. As you could tell, we decided to funnel them. Earth's player asked if the ranger has the what is it, the spike bushes one spell that rangers have. I can't think of what it's called right now. But he ends up casting like 20 feet of it, like in the entrance, and real quickly, for the most part, the gnolls start running down through it. Uh, through most of the battle, most of us are just here. Like it takes us a while before we push through this area. Um, and Ur's just throwing his javelin, and I'm using my missile weapons. Eventually, these because we pretty much be told that it's more of a Flynn camp than it is a Knowles camp, and we see like these like three Flynns come out with bow and arrows, and for the most part, the whole battle, I'm just shooting at them. And let's check out initiative. If I remember right, Hyde rolled a natural 19. Looks like the priestess got next. And then the goblin's around 15. Ur's a little lower than that. One of the things that was kind of amusing was that it's been like it's been like 10 months since has played this character, because we haven't played since like December. And and later on we find out that during, because like he ended up going through a moving process, and during that he ended up losing his character sheet, and between both of those he has no idea how to play anymore. um like his first attack, he says, I rolled a 16 plus my pluses. And it's like, well, what are your pluses? uh and like, like he almost forgot all of it. Like we have to go through his base attack and everything. But Ur's a barbarian, frenzy battle rage or berserker, and like like around the third round, like doesn't go into it, and he even points it out, and he spends, which this part didn't really surprise me, because like sometimes a player would become obsessed with certain things, or would point out certain things that he likes and says other players should do it more, like tripping. Like there's been a few times where he's done decent, where he'll trip someone and then get like a free attack, but he starts doing that here. And this is supposed to be like a short night. Like we were supposed to start an hour early, which we didn't, and for the most part end the night early, but that does not happen. Like my character Hyde, he stays behind this wall through most of the fight, shooting arrows. Like he could do good damage, but he only really does real good damage if he's flanking. And and since nobody pulls or runs ahead, I never go out on my own. And since I'm just using my arrow and Ur's just doing a bunch of trips and regular attacks, the night ends up going like we're in this fight for a while, and And like the DMs get like around once when it starts getting late, the DMs like we gotta hurry this up and stuff. And once again, Herb brings up how he hasn't used his went into a frenzy rage yet, and and I'm like, yeah, you haven't power attacked either, which I guess a frenzy berserker like they get like times five whenever they power attack, and he's like, oh man, he's like, I completely forgot about that, and the DM was like, yeah, I expected to be just mopping the floor with these because is pretty much our heaviest hitter in both campaigns. And then like after that, he backs up and goes into a frenzy and does his leap attack on these ones. I want to say Gideon moves out first. That's him there. Uh, and then once when that happens, I finally come around and flank this one. Um, I want to say I get the last attack. I'm not 100% sure on that though. And once when we kill the mob, the DM wraps it up. Real short thing. Besides the small role playing with her at the beginning, all it pretty much was a fight. Um, but I guess for the next few weeks, me and Urs players are gonna get together on a weekday. Um, Future predictions for this story. Talk to the mongrel man, try to make him an ally, find out what allies are in the area. Hopefully, there's some gold in this tent, and you want to find out, watch my next video. You want to know the whole story, watch all my videos, and check you later.